Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's me again, Jen. Hello. And I will apologize in advance for the brightness of the window. It is lovely enough outside that I have started opening the windows again, and that makes a lot more light come in also. So I'll work on it the rest of the month. We'll see what happens. But either way, we are still working with the Goddess Tarot. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just hold the things in front of it. So we're working with the Goddess Tarot, which is a tarot set that is written and illustrated by Chris Walder. And it's a deck that I've had in my collection for a really long time. It is very female centric. So again, guys, it is what it is this month. So without further ado, let's see what card we have for today on this 9th day of September. And it is a Wednesday. So middle of the week, here we go. Oh, very good. I think this is a really good middle of the week card. We have the 10 of Pentacles. So I will say that some of these cards are not going to be as obvious with their symbolism, and this is one of them. So part of the reason I rarely use this deck is that for somebody who's a beginning reader or somebody who is looking over your shoulder kind of to learn, this deck is not the best. It's really great if you're very proficient at reading and you understand the meanings and you understand the cards really well and they're like part of your soul and part of your being. They're great. But if you don't know as much, some of the cards are going to be trickier to kind of use the symbolism in the imagery to guide you in how you interpret the cards. So we do know, the other reason, by the way, is because these cards are gigantic. Look at the size of these cards compared to my hand. They're very hard to shuffle. So the 10 of Pentacles, we know that Pentacles are the suit that have to do with the material world. So they have to do with fertility, be that wealth in the sense of monetary and finances, or also to do with the business world of things. They can also deal with fertility in the sense of pregnancy and birth and fertility of nature and all of those kinds of things. So they are earth-centric. So the element that they lean into is the earth. Pentacles, coins, depending on what they read as on the card themselves. And then 10s are always going to be this transcendental sort of culmination of all things. It's not just the end of the story, it's the epilogue as well, if that helps for remembering the meaning of the 10. In the case of the 10 of Pentacles, obviously we're going to have those two things together. We're going to have the culmination of wealth, the culmination of whatever the fertility situation was, and it's the reaping of the harvest. It's not just everything is there and blooming and the fruits are on the trees. This is, we have plucked those fruits, or they are so ripe they're just falling off, and it is time for us to go collect them. This is a card of fall in a way, because it is time for the harvest. It is time to gather things up. It is also a card of sort of the fall of our life. So the autumn of life is, retirement, the seeing the successes of your business come to fruition and really understanding what that means, and also the passing it on to the next generation. This isn't just, oh, I've got a successful business and this is great, I've just got to keep it going. It's just the day by day and keep the water wheel churning. This is, I created this and it's wonderful, but I'm out. I am done. It's time to let the children and the grandchildren keep the success rolling. It is up to them to carry on and do something with that which they inherit. So this is a bit of a scary card in some ways, because if we get this and we don't feel like we have been a success in life, it's sort of telling us, yeah, this is it. This is what you were meant to do, and you have reached all those things. And this is as established as you're going to be, and this is what your legacy is. If we have this card and we feel like, yes, we've done great things, that legacy that we leave behind is so opulent in this. We kind of already know that we've done great things and we've left a lot to our children and our grandchildren, hopefully. The other side of this is You're giving it, you're presenting this trust to someone else. And while a lot of people say, oh, a trust fund is something that you are given, and so you trust that you will be able to survive on this. But trust fund is a little bit on the other side of things too. The person giving you this trusts that you will do good things with it. It's not about, oh, I trust that I have inheritance coming to me. I trust that I have these things that my great grandfather and my grandfather and all of these people have done. It's going to entrust me with wealth as I age, which, by the way, that didn't really happen with me. But the flip side of it is the grandparents and on back trust that their next generation will continue to grow this. So there's two sides of that trust. And there's two sides of this card too. It's, hey, you've been given a lot. What are you going to do with it? Do something great. Do something wonderful with it. You've been given so much. And on the flip side, you've worked to get so much and you've done so much in your life. This is the legacy you leave behind. Trust that the next generation will do good with it. And how well you brought them up is the continuation of that success. So in this one, we see that we've got a little less of the family. In a lot of the traditional cards, you see the grandfatherly figure with the grandchildren on the lap and the children in the background holding hands, and it's a very family oriented card. What it did retain in this one is the archway with the coins on it. And arches are that passing through, that passing on to the next thing. And what we can see is there's this one little tree right here, and it has got the coins growing on it. It's clearly a money tree. Money does grow on trees in the tarot. And so it's got your little money tree here, and it's just one little tree. But you can see beyond it, in the distance, is this beautiful verdant valley and the mountains beyond. And you know that there is lush greatness beyond this archway. So you've got this little garden, but there's a lot of greatness beyond it. And it really depends on which way you look at this card. Do you look in on the garden that this little tree has kind of been planted into, and there's only a little bit of green showing? Or do you look at this little tree as kind of the forthcoming of what it lies beyond it, what lies in that valley? So which way you look at it is kind of all about that archway. So it did retain the archway in this card, and it did retain all the coins and that fertility of the little tree growing. What it lost is all the people. So there's no people involved in this. It's really about nature and that continuation of that aspect of Earth. What I love too is that around it we have that very floral, very green, lush, and we've got fluffy white clouds. So all of these things do tie back to the goddess that is attached to this suit, which is Lakshmi. And please forgive me if I mispronounce it. I don't know a whole lot about her mythology, but she is a goddess of abundance and fortune and success. So I would say that this card is all about those things as well. So it embraces all of that. I love the bright colors of this card. I love how it's very green in the front. So we get that earth connection, that fertility connection, all of those things. And also with the green and the gold, we get the financial connection to things. So in that sense, I like this card. In the sense of, hey, it's about succession and it's about inheritance and all of those very human things, it doesn't really have that. So if you're just starting reading, this one might throw you for a bit of a loop, but you know, if you look into it enough, you can see all of those things. I do really enjoy these cards, and I do think they're very beautiful. And look at how beautiful it is. It's got daffodils and daisies. And, oh, they're not clouds. They're birds. I have to look at that again. They're not clouds. They're birds. My eyesight, right? Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed that little interpretation of that card and kind of a breakdown of it. We will continue with the Goddess Tarot for the rest of the month, and that's a lot of fun for me because I've had this deck for a really long time and haven't really looked at each and every card for a really long time. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy, because it seems like the weather might actually be breaking as we lean into fall a little bit. So I'll see you tomorrow.